What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another NCAA basketball video. It is already time for my Week 2 college basketball predictions. Let's go ahead and do this, guys. One quick note I do want to make. I'm going to probably actually change up the format of this. I might make these from actually Tuesday to the following Monday with these picks because to account for the updated AP Top 25 rankings. So I think I'll adjust that for Week 4 picks. Like Week 3, I'll predict from November 21st through the 27th overall. The 27th is that Saturday, and then November 21st through the 29th, and then I'll start up like November 30th to the following Monday, December 6th. So, kind of change things up a little bit over time. You'll see. So there'll be a bit of extra picks for Week 3. So could be a little bit more inaccuracy with the picks, but it's all right doing this stuff for fun. Like to talk about this college basketball, sports, and stuff like that. But let's get to some picks, shall we? Got a lot of games to throw at you. I think I got like 19, so let's get through some of these pretty quickly. But start off with tomorrow in Newark, New Jersey at noon for the Fort Myers tip-off campus game. Seton Hall hosting Yale. Seton Hall 1-0, Yale 2-0. I think both teams are kind of in either a rebuild phase or they're kind of just trying to have things click. Coin flip here. Really don't know who to take here. Last time I checked, Seton Hall was a 12.5-point favorite. So I guess I'm going to take Seton Hall. Yale could win this game too. They could score a bunch. But, I mean, of course, you have the Ivy League who took a year off because of COVID-19 and whatnot. So they didn't play at all in 2020. So going to be an interesting season with the Ivy League, see what they do, who really gets in from the Ivy. Very, very interesting, though, coming up, though, for the overall league in general, or the conference, I should say. But I think Seton Hall wins. Might be a little bit closer. Let's head down to Gainesville, Florida. Tip-off at 1 p.m. for Florida, hosting 20th-ranked Florida State. Both teams 1-0 as of right now. Gotta say, really two interesting teams, especially Florida State, of course. Last year's game between these two teams, of course, you had the Keontae Johnson health scare there. That was crazy. Thank God he made it through that and whatnot. But, Florida's got Castleton. They can play some defense, but Florida State, they got the athleticism, the size, the length. They can play kind of fast. Florida, of course, has to space things out more. Can't quite play as tight as they usually would, but Florida is a team that really could definitely make some moves this season. Again, last year they were so inconsistent, of course, but the Seminoles, of course, both teams get off to a good start. But I'll take Florida State in this one, but I think Florida's favored by 1 point in this game. This should be close. I think this will be closer than last year's game. I think it's going to have a much closer finish. Florida hasn't beaten Florida State since 2013, so they could end that streak tomorrow, but I will be watching that game off to the side of watching NFL games, of course, and whatnot. So, should be a fun day of college basketball, though, this upcoming week, or should I say an fun upcoming week of it overall. Let's go to November 15th. Let's head to Milwaukee, Wisconsin for Gavitt tip-off games. I'm not going to predict every single one of these Gavitt tip-off games. I didn't know what this was about. Like, what the hell is this supposed to mean? But it's Big Ten versus the Big East. So, there's a series of 8 or 10 games. You got Marquette hosting number 11 ranked Illinois. Of course, no Kofi Cockburn through the first 3 main games because he's suspended for a violation or whatever with the NCAA. Marquette, now you got Daryl Morcell. You got the guard position bolstered up a bit with him. He can score a bunch. He's a really good player. Morcell can really make plays. Shaka Smart, of course, now the head coach for this team. Now you're starting to wonder what Marquette's going to really be all about. Illinois utilizing their guard play as well. Trent Frazier, you got Alex Corbell, you got Coleman Hawkins, who's just really kind of filling that role in of Cockburn. Illinois got the rotation too. This is a really tough game to predict. They can go either way. But I'll actually lean towards Illinois. It's a toss-up. You could pick either team. It ain't going to matter at this point. I think Marquette has a good shot of winning, though, because Morcell will make things close with this team, along with the other players that Marquette has. Marquette's got a few guys that can average over double digits, so like 3 guys at least. So, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one in Wisconsin. Should come out of the wire, I think. You got another Gavitt tip-off game. Let's go to Wisconsin. Madison, Wisconsin, where Wisconsin's going to host Providence. Both teams are 2-0. Very interesting matchup here. Matchup, in my opinion, favors Providence, but then in some ways it favors Wisconsin. Wisconsin's got the defense. Providence can outplay with their bigs. Like Nate Watson's just, kind of a do-it-all guy. Wisconsin, of course, you still got Brad Davidson with the guard position. Really tricky game here to predict. I really don't know who's going to win this game. Some of these games are real toss-ups this week, which is rather interesting. Got some really interesting games coming up, especially the Gavitt tip-off ones. I originally wanted to pick Providence, but I think Wisconsin does just enough to stay in the game. I think Providence could easily win this game as well, but I think Wisconsin, I will trust them just a little bit more. If this was in Providence, I probably would be taking Providence, actually. So let's go to a rather snooze fest game in Lincoln, Nebraska on Tuesday, November 16th, where we got Nebraska hosting Creighton. Basically a battle of Nebraska. Both teams are in Nebraska. I'm going to say Nebraska so much, I'm going to end up going horse, die. Just kidding. Just joking. Not panic here. I got some funny comments to say about Nebraska, but Nebraska, of course, lost to Western Illinois. They didn't barely beat another smaller team. I'm like, oh my gosh. Then you got Creighton, who's 2-0. Creighton definitely a bit weaker. No Marcus Zagorowski, no Denzel Mahoney no more. It's tough. Both teams in rebuild mode. I'm taking Creighton, actually. I just like them a little better. Nebraska's just too... I can't trust them. And now, one comment in their game against Western Illinois. Did you all see the tweet by NCAA March Madness where it said Trey McGowan's with authority with a pickaxe emoji? And they're like, oh, McGowan's, he runs up to the basket and he just dunks straight up on one of the Western Illinois players, and the commentators just absolutely ear rape everybody on television because they just it sounded like the microphone was in their mouth, just like that. And all you hear is, oh my god! And then the dude goes, Yunka Dunka. What's that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to mean? I've rewatched that video way too many times. I am definitely a little immature, but you can come on. And it's funny because Nebraska still lost the game. Moving on to oh gosh, here we go. You want to talk about snooze fest? This might be a sleeper game. I don't know. We'll see. Just in terms of I might fall asleep. It's sad to say that because I like Houston, but I like the Houston Cougars, not the Texans. Not the Texans. 15th ranked Houston versus 25th ranked Virginia. Houston 2-0. I thought Houston was getting ready to blow it against Hofstra in the first game of the year. Then they kind of rebounded things against Rice. Virginia lost their first game of this season to Navy. Terrible offense, atrocious offense, absolute garbage offense. Then they turned things around the second game. Oh my gosh, my water. Houston can play a frenetic style defense, but I'm going to go with the better offense here, in my opinion. That is Houston to get the job done. Should be a lower scoring game. Houston is definitely a team this year that I think will be near the top of the AAC, along with Memphis, which shall be interesting, though, with Memphis. Memphis is a very unique team this year. We'll be predicting some of their games. I'll be predicting some of their matchups later down the road for sure. Some exciting ones coming up. Let's head to Ann Arbor, Michigan for our Tuesday night matchup between number 6 Michigan and Seton Hall. Of course, Seton Hall, we just talked about them not too long ago. Number 6 Michigan. Michigan's a really talented team. You still got Hunter Dickinson, one of the best players to return for any team this year. And then the Michigan's got a lot of serious talent in that team. Juwan Howard's a phenomenal coach. Seton Hall has no chance in this game. Seton Hall has absolutely no chance in this game. So Michigan should walk over Seton Hall. This should not even be close. Well, sorry about that. I'm kind of thirsty, but Michigan should dominate this game from start to finish on both ends overall. Very interesting game here in Indianapolis. November 17th on Wednesday, we got a 7 p.m. tip-off between Butler and Michigan State. This game could be actually a little interesting. We're going to continue to figure things out with Michigan State and their newer kind of team. Butler 2-0. Butler, they had not an impressive game against IUPUI, and then it is what it is. Michigan State, though, we kind of figured out what they were about against Kansas. They can play big in your face on the inside. You got Bingham Jr., who's really building confidence. This team just needs to continue to play the game and just build confidence, and then it kind of all comes tenfold, I guess, with this team. But I like how Michigan State was able to kind of be able to disrupt transitions with Kansas. The way they actually did the fast break, too, which was good. Michigan State can play fast, and I will take Michigan State on the road. Again, could be a little close because of the fact that Michigan State is like a more, not an experienced team, like a I can't say young team, could, but things are still developing, still developing with this Michigan State team, so should be an interesting matchup for sure. Let's head out to Mohegan Sun in Cassville, Connecticut. Gosh, I probably just butchered that one. In Connecticut, where you have a fairly weird game here. Basketball Hall of Fame Showcase, not the tournament itself. We'll talk about the tournament itself later down the road in this video and the following video, I believe, the following Week 3 video, but Basketball Hall of Fame Showcase game, there's another set of games with these, but I'm not going to predict them because they feature two other teams that I don't really know much about, and they're smaller school teams. But Oklahoma State against NC State. Oklahoma State laid an egg against Oakland. That was bad. NC State almost lost to Colgate. NC State lost Manny Bates for the season due to injury for their forward, but they got some good talent. They could score for sure. Oklahoma State could play some defense, but it's like their offense is just an absolute. Their offense is just like, I feel like they drank some of Virginia's coffee or something. I have no idea. They drink some of that Virginia juice, I don't know, with offense, and they're slowing down. I don't know. I originally wanted to take Oklahoma State, but I'm taking NC State actually because I like NC State just a little bit better as of right now. I think their offense kind of gets things done a little bit more than Oklahoma State's does. I don't know a whole heck of a lot between both of these teams, so here's this could be one of the best games of the week right here. I will probably be watching this one. Let's take a trip down to Bloomington, Indiana, where the Indiana Hoosiers are set to take on St. John's Red Storm. This is going to be a really hectic game, especially for IU. IU 2-0, really close game against Eastern Michigan for the start of their season. Did not shoot the ball well at all. Did not. That was very poor shooting, and then they rebounded things. Like I said, though, I do trust Mike Woodson. I think Mike Woodson's going to bring the best out of this team. He does seem like he wants to get things rolling. He's really wanting to make this team a success. I think he's for the team. Really like Indiana, honestly, this year. I think Indiana might surprise some people. I would not be shocked if they actually crack the top 25 at some point this year. Same with St. John's. If they play with the way they have their talent, they utilize that to their potential, St. John's could be kind of dangerous this year. They have a frantic defense. They could steal the ball. You got Julian Champagny, who averages over 20 points a game. This is a team that's got some fire with them. Very tough game to pick. I actually am going to take Indiana by a narrow margin at home. If this was at St. John's, I'd be taking St. John's, honestly, because St. John's could definitely win this game. This is going to be exciting. Definitely one to watch. I will be watching this one most likely. Thursday, November 18th. Here we got our first little mini tournament to talk about overall. The Charleston Classic. I will not say the whole thing because it's a mouthful. Shriners Children's Charleston Classic. Yeah, you see why I didn't put the whole thing in there. It's just, oh my gosh, it's too much. Too much of a mouthful. Where Boise State's going to take on number 23 ranked St. Bonaventure. St. Bonaventure's got a good defense, and they got their whole team back from last year. They could score. Boise State, I don't think they have Alston Jr. anymore. I'm not really the biggest fan of Boise State this year. St. Bonaventure, I feel like is going to be one of those teams this year that pulls some strings for sure. We'll see. I think they could take care of business here in game number 1, in the first game of round 1 of the Charleston Classic. Game number 2 of the Charleston Classic, we have Temple Temple versus Clemson. Clemson does not have Amir Sims anymore. Now you got Amir, whatever his name is, I can't remember. Dawes is his last name. Temple not really looking like much to me this year. This is kind of a home game for Clemson. I think in that regard, too, I'll take them. But Clemson's got some... Their team definitely is not as good as last year, so we'll see. But that turns out. This game's interesting. You got, let's go to another Gavitt tip-off game on Thursday night, of course. Thursday night, whatnot, in Cincinnati, Ohio, where we have Xavier taking on 17th ranked Ohio State. Xavier 2-0. Xavier's played good so far. Ohio State, I'll tell you what, I thought they were getting ready to drop the game against Akron. We had the guy named Ali on the Akron. Oh my gosh, that was just crazy. Ohio State barely wins. E.J. Liddell fouled out of the game. He's been their saving grace. I mean, literally, without E.J. Liddell, this team probably be 0-2. They could barely beat Niagara. I mean, I don't know what to tell you with this game. This game is hard to pick. Xavier, from what I remember before, Xavier could play a decent 3-point defense. Ohio State shoots like 35% overall from the three. It's a tough one to pick. I'm going to take Xavier, actually. I haven't liked Ohio State. Ohio State could definitely win this game for sure, but you know what? I'm going to get a little risky and take an upset here. Ohio State, not liking them too much right now. We'll see. Xavier could score too a little bit, so should be a good one in Cincinnati. Game 3 in round 1 of the Charleston Classic. We have Ole Miss taking on Marquette. We talked about Marquette earlier with Darryl Morcell in the squad. Ole Miss is an interesting team. I think you got Darkel Jr., who could be a really good player this year. Could be one of the more prominent players overall this year, especially in the SEC. Ole Miss could be also a team that they end up not doing a whole lot. They just end up kind of being mid to bottom tier of the SEC. Yeah, I don't quite... This could be a really interesting game. Ole Miss does play some defense at times. But I'm gonna take Marquette. That's now I think about it, it's a little tougher than you think. But Shaka Smart, this is probably a defensive game more or less. Shaka Smart, of course, more of a defensive head coach, of course. But yeah, should be interesting though. But I'll take Marquette. Gainer 4 in round 1, you have West Virginia versus Elon. Elon could win this game. They almost beat... They lost to Florida by 13. West Virginia, not the same team, not even close. I mean, they could only beat Pitt by 15 points. I mean, that's still a good win. I mean, it's kind of a dominant victory, if you want to call it that, but still. Don't know the pick here. West Virginia could lose, but I'm going to take them in a close game. It's scary, but we'll go for it. November 19th, let's go to Friday night. Let's go to Friday overall. I put to be determined because I don't know what. It depends on how they schedule with the semifinals. Charleston Classic. Clemson, St. Bonaventure. Yeah, I'm going to take St. Bonaventure. I like them more than Clemson right now, as I talked about with how they have a pretty good defense, and they can even score too, so they're kind of a balanced unit. Marquette, West Virginia. I'm going to actually take Marquette over West Virginia because, again, Marquette, I think Marquette's got some talent. I think they can utilize some of it. And then you're probably wondering, like, why'd you pick them to lose against Illinois? I think Illinois is just, I think they'll just play hard enough and strategize just enough. That's my opinion with it. But West Virginia, yeah, I just don't see the same West Virginia as I once did, of course. As we once did, we don't report that. You know what I mean. They're not the same. November 20th, got a couple more games left. Saturday, Hall of Fame tip-off tournament, semifinals, game number 1. This is going to be a really, really tough game for Villanova, especially. Number 18th, ranked Tennessee versus number 4 ranked Villanova. Villanova played a tough overtime game against, I meant to say, a tough overtime game against UCLA last night. They only lost by 9. They actually took a 7-point lead at one point in the game. How about Jermaine Samuels? He's playing really good. I mean, that just helps Villanova out, getting more people involved, like with the plays and whatnot. Just goes to show that Jay Wright's got a talented team overall. Tennessee, as we know, they have the defense. Stay healthy, get some offense brewing more. You got more of experience. You got a more experienced team now, of course. So we got Fulkerson in the lineup. But I'm taking Villanova. I like their offense just a little bit better. I mean, it's going to be tough either way because Villanova's got to face a hard-nosed Tennessee defense, so that could be Tennessee's game for sure. And then the final game to predict in this video, I believe, is Purdue versus North Carolina. Boy, this one's going to be good. Purdue is ranked 7th, and North Carolina is ranked 19th. Purdue this year has played, I mean, as good as you expect them to. I mean, Zach Edey is a freaking machine. The way he utilizes his size, and with the rebounding aspect, crashing the glass, you got Jaden Ivey. Purdue is such a dangerous team this year. North Carolina almost dropped one to Brown, the college Brown. North Carolina scared me with that one. I'm not so sure. But you got to remember, though, you got a new head coach in Hubert Davis. You got talent you're trying to put together. But that's a little concerning. We'll see. Right now, I like Purdue more because of what they got going for them in terms of their talent. I mean, they're just a stiff team. I mean, really tough team. It's tough to prepare for them, kind of game plan against like Zach Edey and whatnot. But this is the Hall of Fame tip-off semifinals game number 2. So in week 3 prediction videos, in the week 3 predictions video, I'm going to end up predicting the championship game overall and the consolation game, third place game or whatnot. So I think that does it with this. Yep. So that's for my predictions, though, with week 2. If you guys like this stuff, please like and subscribe if you're new. And I will see you guys again soon.